Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Files. Today, we are going to be talking about the 1997 film Conspiracy Theory, starring Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts. Today, I have Isaac and Jeff up north here with me, and this was a pretty interesting movie, wouldn't you say, guys? What are
Yeah,
your initial first thoughts of it?
You
Jeff,
go
I'll
ahead,
let you
Isaac.
go first.
Yeah, we'll let you go first, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually hadn't watched this movie yet, and then you told me to watch it. I'm like, what? How have I never heard of this? Mel Gibson, usually a household name for most people, and so I looked it up and was able to watch it, and I had a fun time. I'm always into that kind of conspiracy theory type stuff and mysteries and government cover ups, and they basically covered everything that they had up until the 2000s that was aware of. MK Ultra, whatnot. But I laughed, I cried. I did some research on stuff. It was a very good time, though. I thank you very much for recommending this and then bringing me on to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to watch it and go on that journey. Because I mean, let's be honest, the movie is a journey.
It's a trip.
Yes.
It makes you think. But what about you, Isaac?
Yeah, this was my first time watching it. Big Mel Gibson fan myself. I've probably seen 90% of his movies. This was one of the 10% I had not seen till you mentioned, like, hey, let's do a review of it. And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, gives me a reason to watch it. And I'm glad I did. Made me an even bigger fan. Like Jeff said, I loved, I laughed, I cried, I everything. It's a journey. It's a journey. And I mentioned too, just on the movie making side of it, Julia Roberts, fantastic job acting, pretty much everybody in it, just wonderful job. But the story, like we said, pre 2000s, that's being made in 97, definitely enlightened me to some of the way of thinking of question askers, if that's what you want to call it, just inquisitive people. Things have definitely evolved in the last 30 years. We're all into it to our own degree, but
Mhm.
just really enjoyable and definitely recommended watch. So
Yeah, this was a really fun watch. I've seen it a few times over the years. Well, actually, I could say over the past year, since ABF told me about it, and it's one that no matter how many times you watch it, it feels like you're always seeing something new that you missed,
mm,
and it's like, okay, that connects to that. That's an Easter egg for that earlier on or later on. Like, holy shit! Like
mhm.
it's a really good watch, and I'm glad that both of you agreed to watch this. But out of 10, what would you guys rate this? Jeff, what would you rate this?
Well, might be a little bit biased just because I do like the government cover up conspiracy stuff, like I mentioned. The acting was great. There was some parts of this film where Mel Gibson had me almost rolling out of my chair. So, I mean, like I told you before the show, he's a national treasure. And his acting was definitely overlooked in the modern age compared to when he was his first half of his career, I suppose you could say. I'm gonna give this a solid 7.5 to 8 in that area, just because.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few flaws here and there, but very minimal. But it's okay. Yeah, I'll say a solid 8
Okay.
at the lower end, a solid 8 for sure.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Isaac, what about you?
Yeah, I was sitting just about at around an 8 myself. Might even be tempted to bump it up to an 8.5 potentially, but I think 8 is that's a really good scale to be settled on here. Definitely have my nitpicks here or there. We can go over that down the line, but no, it's deserving of a substantial rating like that because, like I said, all encompassing story, acting. Even I want to shout out the cinematography, especially the opening segment of the lettering and the credits and everything just fading in and out. It was very,
Hmm.
what do you want to call it? Kind of trippy, almost like a dream sequence ish, and very cool cinematography as well. So I'm comfortable at an 8 for this movie out of 10. So
Okay. It seems like we're all pretty even minded on this because I gave it an 8, 8.5 as well. So it
yeah,
there's just something about this movie. It's like, they don't make them like this anymore.
Mhm.
And if you look on IMDb, it's rated at like a what was it, a 6.7, 6.9 or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
6.7.
like come on. Like and we all know why that's the rating it got. It's because it's Mel Gibson. Come
of
on. They
course.
they hate him, so of
Mhm.
course they're
He's
gonna
the
give him
Hollywood's biggest outlaw, to be honest.
exactly,
Pretty much.
exactly. No, but what was your I guess first thoughts going into it when you first met Jerry and Mel Gibson's character, and you met Alice, and you started meeting everybody? Like, what were your initial thoughts? Like, did you think he was crazy? Did you think maybe he was onto something? Like, how did you guys first think of, or what did you guys first think about Jerry, especially? Isaac, we'll start with you for this one.
Sure. Yeah. First impression, obviously, you kind of have a feeling going into it that he's a well-intentioned guy, but it did give that impression, that kind of creep, stalkery, binoculars in the window, kind of like, all right, what's the motivation here? And
Right.
not to spoil too much or anything, but you learn that's not the case. He's actually a very good-hearted individual with good, protective, guardian angel-like intent, and so that was kind of my impression with his character. Then to learn more about her father's connections, everything behind the scenes there. Um, really, just really loved the storytelling. It's not like it was ultra complex or multi-layered. It was just really well executed for what it was. And yeah, no complaints in that department whatsoever. So really good character
Okay.
building.
All right. And what about you, Jeff?
Yeah, going into it, excuse me, sorry. But going into it, Jerry, as he's driving people around New York City in his cab, and every person that shows him having in the back seat, he's throwing a different theory at them. Yeah, chloride in the water, it's actually bad for you. Hard's the frontal complex, whatever. Words hard. And and he's talking about the dollar bill. He's like, yeah, the new dollar bill. He's like, take a look at it. It looks like what do you say? Benjamin Franklin's a love child of Rosie O'Donnell and someone else or something like that.
Yep.
That was awesome.
And then he was
he's
talking about the
talking
tracking
Yeah,
devices
the tracking
too.
device in it. So
The metal strip.
Yep. So I was curious. I did a quick research on it. Couldn't find any on the first page theories about it, but Benjamin Franklin looks nothing like he did on the $100 bill when it was first introduced nowadays. So that's kind of interesting. But back to the character of Jerry, he reminded me of a lot of people that I know. Like anytime you're talking to him, they just start throwing out theories, conspiracy theories. And you at first you're like, this guy's a nut. But then you're like, he might be onto something. The more and more that conspiracy theories become facts in this day and age, faster than they used to, especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alice seemed all right. She likes to run on a treadmill at night and get creeped on by Jerry with his binoculars. Not that it's her like, but
Seems like she's very dedicated to her job too.
Yes, absolutely, and she's searching for the truth. Ish.
Yeah. No, and I did like the opening sequence as well, where he's telling all the different conspiracy theories and all that to the different customers,
Mhm.
and then there's that moment where he like dozes off for a second and then snaps out of it, and you kind of see some like flashes and stuff, and it's like, huh, okay, interesting. And then things start to really kind of get wild, but
I loved
I don't-
those interactions. It was just boom, boom, boom. The nuns, he was talking about the corruption in the Vatican, which
Yep.
is funny because if you're a Mel Gibson fan, like, and watch his interviews, he's a Roman Catholic that despises the Vatican too and the current state of Catholicism and stuff. So, like, I have a feeling that was a personally written in segment from him, Mel Gibson. Um,
Could be.
there's a lot of things that kind of creep through. It's like, this is just Mel talking here. This isn't the character. And
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it. So.
And especially over like what we've been seeing come out the last, like, I'll just say, even say 20 years, all these
Mhm.
conspiracy theories that are being proved to be true. It's like, maybe we aren't so crazy after all about
Yeah.
some of this other stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they love to make us seem crazy.
Yep. Another thing about Jerry's character, you could tell he's very observant because that last guy he picked up before he kind of dozed off, he watched what they were doing with his girlfriend or his date. He's like, it's love, you kissed her, he literally told the guy exactly what he was doing. The guy's like, wait, what? And then I don't know if it was maybe a key word that sent Jerry into that kind of out of body kind of glitch in his head. I don't know. I didn't really notice anything.
Yeah, because like I don't know. I wonder if there was a key word that triggered that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I know.
I
He
didn't
said
know about that.
there's he's like, oh, he's talking about Alice. He's like, oh, you tell her that you love her, and he's like, no, there's like a lot wrong with me, and then he starts zoning out. So I don't know if there's something else there that I missed. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Mm.
But
Interesting. That is interesting. And then
yeah,
he like shows up at her job, and he's got
Mhm.
like a theory that NASA's causing earthquakes and stuff, and that
Yeah.
they're gonna try to uh, end the president, so to speak, to be
Mhm.
safe for YouTube here.
Mhm.
But and then she just kind of blows him off, and it's like, so she just thinks he's a nut job, and then of course he asks her out, and she's like, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole
Uh,
interaction, it just had me rolling.
So
Mhm.
I did a quick search here on IMDb, and Isaac was right. It says according to Dick Donner, Mel Gibson improvised the opening scenes in which his character explains his conspiracy theories to a succession of passengers.
Really? Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That
That
felt
is
very
cool.
Gibson-y,
Yep.
those interactions. I
Yeah, so
did
that's
not know that.
improvisation.
Very cool.
So then
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of their reactions are genuine. That makes it even better.
Probably. Yeah, like
That's
just
cool.
I wonder if they actually just had Mel drive around just random people in the city.
They probably thought, "Yeah, who's this taxi driver? It's a documentary we're filming."
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that'd actually be really cool. Think about it. You're just kind of like going about your day, and then somebody comes up, "Hey, do you want to be a passenger in a taxi for Mel Gibson?"
Huh. Can't say no to that.
Conspiracy
Yeah.
cab.
I would say yes in a heartbeat, dude. Conspiracy cab. I like that. I like
It
that.
would
That's a
be.
good
Yeah.
name for a
That'd
podcast.
be cool.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But no, and then when he goes home, he goes to like the
Yes.
roof of his building, and he enters like through this door, and he's like really paranoid about everything, and just seeing how he acts, it's like this is really how the media portrays conspiracy theorists, like
Mhm.
they label us like these crazy nut jobs that do all this like over the top, out of the box stuff. And granted, there are some people like that for sure,
Yep.
but not all of us. I mean, you
No.
don't see me having my walls lined with tinfoil and
Right.
blocking all radio.
Only my hat,
signals.
okay? I have a
Right.
limit.
I know.
Yeah,
right? I got to make a
forgot
new
my hat
one.
in the other house.
Mine
Yeah, that's true.
mysteriously got damaged, so I got to make a new one.
Really?
Yeah, mine wasn't made out of tin. It was
You
made
got
out
to
of
use the heavy
aluminum.
duty next time, Nerd Slap.
I
It's
think
more
I
durable.
think I got to get the Alex Jones brand.
That's the best one.
That's the
Yes.
heavy duty stuff.
That has the 6G protection in that one. So,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can you upgrade to a better type when the 7G starts rolling around and messing with people?
I think you could just double it up. Probably.
Okay.
That could give you to 12G at that point. 6 plus 6. I don't know. So we're
I'm
good for a while.
assuming Alex Jones scientists are at work with that right now. They're
Oh,
two
I
steps ahead.
fully trust
They're
them.
2 steps ahead
Yes.
of
Yes.
the curve.
Oh, but no, like
His food and everything, the way
Yep.
he stores that, just kind of
Mhm.
crazy.
The
it
beer
is.
bottle on his doorknob.
But to be honest, though, like if you thought that the government was watching you and like messing
True.
with you, especially like when you're not home, it makes sense.
does.
It's like it kind
I
of
was
makes
a
me
little
wonder.
jealous of his setup a little bit, to be honest. Like, I kind
Right?
of want some of this,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean we'll talk
Yeah.
about it in a little bit, but
Mhm.
the way he had his apartment set up for certain
Yes.
situations.
Yep. Spoiler: it wasn't tinfoil for the tinfoil sake.
Yes.
Nah, but did you guys? And they kind of reference it later on in the movie, but when they first like showed the apartment and stuff, did you guys notice the Catcher in the Rye and like how many copies he had?
No.
Not off the bat, not till it was mentioned.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't notice it on like my first couple watch throughs, and then there's like a very brief moment where you just see a bunch of copies of it, and you're like, "Huh, okay." And then they talk about it later, and it's
Because
like,
he showed it on the
interesting.
shelf, and then he's like, and then it's under my bed, and it's in that bureau, and he's like, and I just have to buy it to feel like a normal person.
Every time I
But I
see
didn't
it,
notice the quantity that you're mentioning. No.
okay. And yeah, he was like mentioning like every time he sees it, he has to buy it and he
Right.
doesn't know why, but No, I thought it was interesting too how when he gets admitted into the hospital, right? And he like kind of meets Alice there, and he's like, "You need to switch the name tags. You need to switch the name tags. They're coming after me. They're gonna kill me. Like, please."
Yep.
And then the next day she comes back, and it wasn't clear on if she did it or not,
Mhm.
but come to find out that the person that was in the room with him mysteriously died, and so it's like, it's kind of interesting how how they portray that, because it's not that far fetched from how they could actually do it.
And they make it clear, and I do like the point of note that he was not an innocent guy, the guy that mysteriously died too. I like that they, just for that little moral highlight,
Mm.
they pointed on that guy was pretty evil. So
Fun fact, I believe if I read it correctly, the guy in the hospital bed next to Mel was his brother,
Really?
played by his brother.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found the fun facts page.
Well,
I
yeah.
I didn't even really know he had a brother. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And then shortly after all that starts to happen, and he like kind of makes his escape and everything, we're introduced to the villain, so to speak, and we're gonna jump back a little bit to kind of reference it, but the villain ends up being Patrick Stewart, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not used to seeing him in a villain role.
Yeah.
And so seeing him as
No.
like the bad guy for this, I was like, I kind of like it. I felt bad about liking him as the villain, but
hmm
and then you don't really like realize it at first, but just a little bit before, there's like the moment where he's like strapped to that chair, right? And he's being interrogated, and he's just losing his mind. The guy's like eyes strapped open like some Clockwork
Clockwork
Orange.
Orange.
Yup.
Yep.
And they start like fucking with his brain, and he eventually like, I forget exactly how it went down, but he eventually like stages a breakout of sorts, but he's still strapped to the wheelchair. So it ends up like kind of rolling around, causing chaos. But then he falls down a
It
fucking
was borderline
flight of
comedic.
stairs.
Some of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's the part that had me rolling out of my chair almost. I mean, he's just like,
Yeah.
ah!
Going down.
Just screaming. And I immediately I
Oh.
messaged nerds. I messaged Nerd right away. I said, dude, Mel Gibson is an absolute national treasure.
He is.
It's unbelievable. It cracked me the hell up. I was laughing.
And then he
vocally
freaking
the whole time.
bites the guy's nose too, and then it's revealed that like it's Patrick Stewart's character, but now seeing that scene where he's like strapped to the wheelchair and stuff, I'm like, man, like this is what it must have actually been like. Because I mean, we know for a fact, we know that stuff like MK Ultra and all that
Mhm.
happened. We know it.
Yes.
And it's like, damn, I wonder if this is like really how it happened, if it was brutal like this, or
It-
I bet you it was.
I think it
20
was.
years.
I think torture is an appropriate term.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Is It was
Mhm.
torture,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it can be, it may not be appropriate for all ages, but or some people might not be able to kind of stomach that
Yeah.
portion of it, but it's not a very large part of the movie either. So it's like if you can make it through like the couple minutes, maybe it's like maybe 5 minutes for that scene, but like after that,
I definitely could see certain people having an issue with it.
Well,
It really could bother some sensitive people. It could.
Yeah, specifically, I mean, the people I'm thinking of specifically, the people in power, in government.
I was going to say people that are photosensitive.
True. Yes. Well, that's
Disabilities.
kind of what I was thinking. Like it's very viscerally intense, like very flashing,
A lot of
very,
strobe lights.
like
Yeah,
if someone's epileptic, I would be like, maybe think about that, so
yeah. So I mean, if you are
Close your eyes.
epileptic watching and you watch this movie, just be warned, you might want to look away or something, So,
Yeah.
but nah, like I would say that's probably my like favorite part of the whole movie is that like, and it sounds kind of messed up to say, but like the interrogation scene being my favorite, but once you actually watch the movie and you see like what happens, you're like, okay, it kind of makes sense because
Mhm.
it's kind of like the funniest part of the movie. Let's be real.
it is.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But
Going down the staircase, wiping dudes out, it's just, and his reaction the whole time. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
mind you, the whole time his eyes are just like, and it's
Right.
hilarious. So yeah,
and then he has a what is it, like a newsletter or like a
Yep.
blog? I
Yeah.
think it's like an actual newsletter. But and it's
Yeah.
called Conspiracy Theory, and he like publishes it to the paper and stuff like that, or to a magazine or something. But he's only got like, I think 5 subscribers, I think is what it was.
5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then it gets real weird with that too, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But I forget exactly how it goes down. It's been a minute since I've seen this, but Alice kind of starts to believe him almost at some points, and it's like there's a point where he brings her to the apartment, or actually no, it was first, I think he had the lobby freak out, right?
Yep.
And then
Yes.
he stole one of the cops' guns or whatever, and he was like freaking out in the lobby. And then shortly after that, he brings her to the apartment, and she kind of sees how he lives. We see the locked food containers, all the Catcher in the Rye copies and stuff like that. And he's like showing her the conspiracy theory newsletter and all the like stuff that, how he lives basically. And I don't know. I mean, it really does make you think, like, when you're telling your friends and stuff that don't like think like this, that you start telling about this kind of stuff, and then you start to like kind of try to show them. That's kind of what it's like almost. It's like they just kind of look at you and they're like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what the hell?" But then a few minutes later, it ends up being where they get attacked in his apartment. They start shooting like tear gas and shit, and they want to breach it. And
It's like one of those situations where it's like, I was right, and I'm really upset that I was right, because what I'm right about is horrible, and I don't want it to happen, but I'm right, and I need you to know, type of thing.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that watched this movie and thought, man, he's just crazy. He's crazy. And I'm looking at like, he's not crazy. He's not crazy. He has a point. Hear him
He
out.
messed with his head.
Yeah.
And
So-
one of my nitpicks that I actually chuckled about was when when the police raid on his apartment and they yell flashbang, and they threw the flashbang through the window and the entire room just explodes. I'm like, right, flashbang.
Yep. And as soon as that happens, he's like, "All right, it's go time," and he like
Mhm.
flicks a switch and sets off the reaction, and then you find out his entire apartment is like rigged to burn without affecting the rest of the apartment building. And it's like, okay, that's pretty detailed, like.
So too, he took other people into consideration. He's not a monster. He's not a terrorist. He's just a well-informed dude on a mission.
Exactly.
So, yep.
But now what I wonder though is I didn't really think about this the first time, but when they're escaping the apartment, he like pulls that nightstand out of the way, and it's got like the hidden stairwell or whatever, and it goes down to that room with the wall. It must have been like the apartment underneath his or something, and he just like bought them both or whatever so he could get out quicker. But I didn't really. I just kind of thought about that. I'm like, he had to have had like 2 apartments almost, But then
it's kind of like No Country for Old Men with the extra room. It's like, no one says you can't have more than one. If you got the money, you can have it.
Exactly.
There's no rule saying you can't have more than one apartment.
Right. There's no one says I can't have a basement under my basement.
Ooh, hidden.
Exactly
basement.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Except I don't think either of your guys' hidden basements would have a wall with like photos of Julia Roberts' character on it and stuff like that.
Burner horse.
You never know. Why you assuming?
I mean, I
don't want to know what's on the other side of Isaac's camera.
I think all of us can agree that if we had a wall like that, it would probably be like, I don't know, Sydney Sweeney or there's a few others.
Trisha Helfer, I don't know, but
yeah,
Speaking of conspiracy theories. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What's the name of the girl? Anna
Anna
de
de Armas.
Armas. Yeah. Yep. See, you knew exactly who I was thinking of. It's
My eyes, man.
yeah,
I don't
those
know.
two. Yeah, those three, actually. Yeah.
Yep.
But
No, I think there's a conspiracy theory. I'm just gonna sidetrack a second here since you brought up Sydney Sweeney, but the Megan Fox dropping her new photo shoot stuff. There's
oh,
a
I
thing
didn't
I
even
saw
know about that.
earlier. Yeah, she's looking good
Wild,
for however old
wild.
she is now, but it's probably a lot of makeup and
There's a lot. Well, I have a conspiracy theory about
cosmetics.
that. It
But
ends
no,
with
before
yeah.
I was gonna say is like a theory that they dropped that to get people to stop talking about Sydney Sweeney. They saw an article saying, did Megan Fox do this so people would stop talking about Sydney Sweeney because it's working? I said, the fuck it is.
That could
Absolutely
be.
not.
There
But I
could
don't
be
think
people that are
I don't
sick of
know.
it, and so they're like, let's try to get
Really,
somebody
people,
else.
people that are sick of it are people that are jealous.
Because I mean, has she even
Yes,
done
great genes.
anything in the last like 10 years? I mean, since
Megan?
Transformers, yeah,
No,
she's
no,
with
not really.
MGK or whatever.
I can get
Yeah,
very
she-
political about it, but she's gone down
Jeez.
that road and been very,
Yeah.
very Hollywood. That's all I'm gonna
Let's
say.
just-
She's embraced the Hollywood way of life, and
Yeah.
other than that, I know nothing else about what she's been up to outside of
Yeah.
We might have to do
Oh.
an episode on all that on all that stuff because
All I
there's
know is
Hollywood gonna Hollywood.
Yep.
You know, we
all
all
I
know.
know is she brought Transformers home to the family,
amen.
and we'll leave it at that.
Oh, but no, like going back to like when all that stuff at the apartment starts, like that's when I think really kind of first start to see like, okay, he's not crazy. Like this stuff's actually happening to him. Like something happened to him in his past, and I don't know. This is kind of where I guess you start to see the truth, and I guess I don't know. This movie,
Well,
it
it's like
just it blows my mind there's something new about it every time when I watch it.
it's like they're walking the viewer through it too. They're in the process of convincing us.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
almost in her shoe. We're almost in her shoes a bit. Like we don't know. I like genuinely don't know which way it's gonna go. Is he crazy? Is he, or is it what it ends up to be? It's I
Mhm.
kind of like movies like that where it leaves you guessing a little bit, even if you're really confident. There's that level of unsureness to kind of rattle you a little through the story. So it was successful at that.
Mhm.
It was definitely so.
Well, what did you guys think about when she started looking into like Jerry's subscribers and stuff like that, right? And then
Yep.
finding out that they all mysteriously died within like a year or two. And then the last one that was alive was forwarding address for a certain doctor that's been
Yes.
following Jerry around. I thought that was interesting. I'm like,
It
huh.
was, yeah.
And I
Makes
don't
you
know,
think, you know.
it does. I mean, think about it. The best way to hide something or to hide the truth is to do it in plain sight.
Oh yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I was
take
kinda
Stargate,
shocked.
for example.
It's a
Stargate is a
documentary.
documentary, but they label it as science fiction. Just
Exactly.
saying.
When we know Wormhole Extreme is the cover up to
Yep, exactly.
convince us otherwise. It's all
Exactly.
Why
propaganda.
they did it?
Yep.
Exactly. And I guess what overall, like, what did you guys think about like towards like the end of the movie or like the middle / ending? Because once all this stuff starts happening, where we see that it's really happening to Jerry and he's not crazy, but then it ends up being where like there's this big like cat and mouse game between them and like the FBI, and they end up going to like the house that she grew up at, based off of
Yep.
his like memory. Something in his brain was telling him to like follow, I think it was like follow the music or something
Well,
like
he's
that.
like, I can start to hear the music. I can start to hear it. So faint.
And then they end up
And
being
leading,
at her house.
yeah, well, she's like, this is my father's place. It's, yeah. And
which-
leading right up to that, her with her cell phone, she's still unsure right up to the last moment. Yeah.
I'm saying which we didn't cover the context of her father was killed. years prior.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget exactly how that was. But yeah, her father died, and then, but then wasn't it like she remembers it as like a mugging or something that Jerry saved her from? I think it was. I think that's how it like all connected because I do remember that the way she knew Jerry was because he saved her from a mugging.
Right.
But I just can't remember if that connected to her father's death or not, because it ended up being, I think, like the FBI or CIA, whichever 3-letter agency this was,
The ones we don't
they
know.
killed her father, basically.
Right. And and then he goes through the process of convincing her that he's like, I knew your father, and then he makes a good cup of coffee and everything, and he believed me. And I think when she pieced it together, like, wow, he really knew my father, and my father knew him. If he trusted him, my father trusted him. Why shouldn't I? And I think that's what really clicked. It wasn't some irrational like, well, I got it. It's like my father. I'm trusting my father's instinct. Which that's a really wholesome thing. So
Agreed. Yeah, and that moment in particular was like a real kind of tearjerker. When they're in the
big time.
stable and she finds out that at first that he knew her father. She gets mad and like attacks him, and she accused him of killing her father, I think, at one point during
Yeah.
that exchange. But then he's like, no, like either they were like best friends or like they worked together for like a really long time so that they were really close friends. It was something along those lines. But it ends up where, like you said, she ends up like being convinced that
Right.
my father trusted him, so I should as well. And then you find out that they were able to that the FBI or CIA, they were able to trace the call. They
Yep.
get there, and then they shoot him.
Shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, and
Indeed. Yeah.
and then we're left to believe that he's dead. And
I just
she's
want to
left
say,
to believe that he's
just
dead.
the shooting portion in the water, I have to say that was really well shot. Not to skip ahead, but like when him and Patrick
in the right
Stewart,
area.
yeah, it's I think that was shot really well. Like, no pun
Yep.
intended, but cinematically speaking,
Hey.
we know how bullets kind of work in water, and that was kind of stretching it a little bit, but it was still kind of cool. And when we get to the end here, I have a theory of my own I'm gonna present, but I don't want to jump the gun.
Okay.
I'm gonna add on with the water in the water and shooting part of the movie.
Yeah.
So without getting too much deep detail, Mel Gibson shows Patrick Stewart in the water, much like Patrick Stewart did to Mel Gibson when he was interrogating and terrorizing him towards the beginning of the movie. And in the middle of the fight, Mel Gibson grabs a mop, like pushes his head down underwater.
Yep.
When I was watching, I took a note down. Uses a mop as a weapon. Nice.
Yes. Yep.
That was
You never think of using a mop as a weapon like that. So I thought
Right?
it was clever to add that little bit in there.
Didn't he use like his chair or something at one point too in one of their earlier interactions, or even I think in the pool fight there might have been? I thought he used like a chair or something at one point too.
There was a lot of improvised weapons.
Yeah,
used.
yeah,
which
it probably just faded in.
smart.
He was very what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he could find anything out of anything. Like, he was a smart dude, not just not
Very-
low IQ by
He
any
was
means.
MacGyver basically. you know?
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
But no, and then yeah, I forget exactly because like Alice was looking for Jerry when he was like kidnapped, right? And she ended up like finding him in the building because he was like singing or something like that, and she heard him through the vents. And I forget. I think the song was like, if I remember, it was like something from her childhood that she remembered, and that's why she like was able to kind of like, oh wait, that's Jerry, But no, and then yeah, like kind of fast forward and ends up where Patrick Stewart's character dies and Jerry gets shot, and we're left to believe that he's dead. It's like that's where the next like kind of tear jerking begins.
Well, do you want to cover that last scene in Connecticut?
Yeah, I think we should.
course.
That one was open
I have a
for
theory about that.
interpretation. Let's go ahead and see. What do you think about it, Isaac?
You think he was a clone, or do you think that was him? I'm just saying, I have no evidence or anything, but I immediately thought, like, wouldn't that be crazy? Obviously, they didn't even suggest or hint to it. But if they were to ever do a sequel, which I kind of hope they don't, to be honest, nowadays, unless Mel Gibson was in full control, wouldn't that be crazy if he did die and they have an army of Jerrys waiting to do stuff? Just saying.
And then now
Oh,
and then some of them start kind of going off the fritz and writing their own conspiracy theory
Exactly.
newsletter and sending it out.
Well,
Except
like they have
nowadays
an
it'd be an online blog and YouTube channel.
Yep,
oh,
true, very true. But like what if they have a limited faculty, period of time and it degrades and the programming breaks and it could be an army of Jerrys. It might be the Clone Wars out there, man. I don't know.
I'm just
it
thinking
could
of Jerry from um Rick and Morty. An army of Jerry.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, I don't think that's the case. I think it's him. He made it, and he's still being the guardian angel. So wholesome, wonderful, very Connecticut, scenic ending shot. Really good wrap up to the movie. So
yeah, we see her like getting back into the horse riding, which she
Yep.
loved doing, especially because of her
Mhm.
dad. And it's revealed that he's sitting in the car, and that's that's a good theory. I didn't think about that one where he could be a clone, and because he was blamed for some shit earlier in the movie, and he's kind of like the scapegoat for this kind of stuff. So
Just
that
saying.
would be a very good theory. But I
It's
mean,
kind of reaching, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying it could be. It just kind of made me think, because he seemed dead to me,
Hmm.
and
and my theory is it kind of tails on that one. My theory is that he is dead, but
oh, okay,
the part where he's in the car watching her as they go by, that's my interpretation, is that he's watching her from heaven or
okay.
whatever, and he's just kind of like the guardian angel now,
Mhm.
fully. That's my theory, is that he's like now
What if that's
officially the
wait? What
guardian
if
angel.
that's not to interrupt? But what if that's Michael and Gabriel in the front seat? Just saying
Hmm.
they race swapped angels, but I can get over it. I'm just saying,
Oh,
Well, they're always race swap because they
leading
can't
into
really
your
look at their
theory,
true forms
I'm
allegedly.
just saying.
okay,
Here's
yes,
my
because
theory on that. Okay, go ahead.
just real quick, the car could be like Jerry's spirit passing on to heaven, and it's like the journey, on his way to
I
heaven
mean,
and
Mel is
stuff.
Catholic, so that could be like purgatory to him in his head.
It could be, and like on his way there, he's taking one last look to make sure that she's gonna be okay, and that he can move on.
We could
I
really
think
break that down.
I think purgatory for him would be all the stuff that happened in this movie, being paranoid your whole life and being chased
Yep.
down by hidden
Yep.
under unknown agencies. But
Yep.
here's my theory on that. Since you guys started bringing it up a little bit, what if that last scene where he's watching on the horse is actually a flashback to after her father died, and he was going through, and they scrambled his brains after that, saying it's better off without her knowing. And then that's where he gets the image of her riding the horse from that he draws on his wall.
Oh, I didn't think about that
Yeah.
either. That's a
It just
good one
popped in.
too.
It's like, what if that was
I
actually a
did not think of
flashback
that.
on that? Yeah.
Huh.
And he was working for those
Wow.
people the whole time, but they kind of gave him the old MK Ultra mind wipe type thing.
So that he doesn't remember that he's working for them.
Mm-hmm.
What if she was the real target the entire movie,
Maybe.
but they made it seem like Jerry was?
It could be. I mean, how are you going to take someone out that's in a very public place?
Because
Like
I mean, did we ever figure? I don't
worked.
know if they ever really like went into depth about like what her father did to get murdered, but if it
I
had
don't
something
think
to
they did not
do,
expound on that very much. No.
because I'm just kind of like free thinking here, but like, what if he like left something behind in his work or some kind of like files or stuff like that,
Or even
and
just told her something,
right, and maybe she doesn't remember it consciously, but like she has the ability to somehow access the information, and that's going to allow her to continue on her father's work. And so they're actually watching her, but making it seem like they're watching Jerry, and that could tie into your clone theory.
Could be.
It could. It really could.
I had to look up quick on IMDb the synopsis because it was really bothering me. going back to the when they first got to the stables, and it says right here, at the stables, Jerry remembers that he was sent to kill her father, a judge who was about to expose Jonas's operation.
That's
Well, he couldn't
right.
kill him. Yep. Instead, they became friends, and Jerry promised to watch over Alice before the judge was killed by another assassin.
See, that's why I got to watch this
what it
film
is.
many times. I've watched
Yeah,
it just
I started
once before
rewatching it
this,
before.
so
Yep.
yeah.
I want to get back into it.
I watched it like
It
a
needs a
month
second
ago, and I
rewatch.
thought I remembered enough about it, but apparently not.
I got to say, there's like a lot to unpack. This is easily a 4 or 5 hour movie. You know it's like a lot going on, a lot
Yeah,
of layers.
it's over
here,
2 hours.
so.
Yeah, it's over
It
2 hours
is,
for a
yeah.
1990s movie. That's pretty.
And they crammed a lot of
intense.
content into that. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was a great movie, honestly, and I would still watch it again, even though I've seen it probably
Definitely.
3 or 4 times. It's one that I can easily watch, you know. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
that I've seen it a few times, like I could also use it as like a second monitor movie. Like if I'm working on stuff, throw it
definitely.
on and just kind of, listen and glance over. But to really see all the stuff that I missed, I definitely want to do like another like deep dive into the movie and like watch it through those lenses again, And we might have to do a watch party for this one.
I'd be down for that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. And
Watch
we could
party.
even, EFAP it frame by frame a little bit. Be like, hey, what's that? There's a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack, and I think we've covered a lot of the highlights. But yeah, there's movies a lot more than highlights, and yeah. So
Yeah, videos like this, you don't want to ruin the movie. You want to do that superficial type
definitely.
getting into it because you want people to see it for sure.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for future reviews, I'm going to try to have it be a bit more structured because clearly this is not structured at all. We're just kind of talking here, we're all a little retarded, so we're just kind of just talking. about
Some
it.
more than others. Just saying. I mean, I might be on the spectrum, but no, I think we did a good job. From beginning, middle, end. Which this movie really does have a beginning, middle, and end. It flowed well, and it's just well structured movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little slow at times in the middle, but it picked right back up, and then from that pickup point to the end, it was pretty much hit the ground running.
But even during those slow moments, like there was still stuff that was important to the story in those slow periods, which made up for it being a slow period in the movie. And I love that when movies do that, is because then you don't lose your audience. Because you can really a lot of films now, they'll catch you in the beginning and then it'll just be boring, blah 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 bullshit in the middle, and then an exciting finish. And it's like
that sets up for a sequel.
Yeah, and exactly. It sets
The
up
next
for a
movie.
sequel or 3 more movies after that. And it's like,
Yep.
I get it. Like, if that's what okay, cool. But if you want a good movie that doesn't need a follow-up or a whole franchise, keep it good all the way through. Even the slow moments, put stuff in that's important to the story. And I loved that about this.
That's what's great about this. It's a great standalone movie. Exactly.
Exactly.
It is.
And
Yes.
I really hope that they don't try to do like a remake or a sequel
Or a TV show or anything.
Yeah,
No.
no kidding.
Yeah. Some stuff it's okay to do like a reboot for, but some stuff just leave it alone,
Exactly.
I think maybe if there's going to be a remake, I want Alex Jones to be the star.
Dude, oh my
I fully agree. Yes.
I'm honestly surprised.
I told you they're making the frogs gay.
I'm surprised he wasn't in this movie. I'm surprised he didn't make some.
Alex was super young and not well known.
I was going to say this.
He wasn't known yet. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
I don't think he did Bohemian Grove at that point yet. I don't think.
Yeah,
true.
That's what kind of put him on the spot with a lot of people. I think it was right around that time. And when they were writing and filming this, I don't think Alex was probably just a radio guy in Texas at that point, So
okay. So
when we think of this movie's almost 30 years old,
If they were to do a remake or a reboot and it was announced that Mel Gibson had full control, Alex Jones was the star, and then whoever the female lead would be, do you think it could work if Mel had full control?
I got to be honest, I would vote for Harrison Smith. He's another host on Infowars. He's younger. I think he
Okay.
would fit the role better, and he's actually done a lot of scripted skits on his channel. He's an Infowars host. He works for Alex, and like I said, he's probably like 30, like around the same age range. I think Alex could do it definitely, but he's not a conventional actor. My vote would be for Harrison Smith for sure from
Okay.
Infowars.
I
I think
think
he
if
could pull it off, and he's a great actor too. In his
yeah, I was gonna,
skits.
if they were gonna do an Alex Jones reboot, it would have to be like borderline like a spook comedy,
Okay.
just
It
because of
would,
how his
yes.
demeanor is, you know.
Or maybe his son.
But-
Alex has a son Rex, who's
What a
arguably
name.
more into it than his father is. He's a host on there too.
Oh, no kidding! I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in the Bald Men's Club too, so he knows what's up.
Hell yeah.
Bald is
Hell
beautiful.
yeah.
Well, and honestly though, like I'm thinking about it right now, and it's like it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they try to do some kind of a reboot or a remake of this. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
If it's
You
not
gotta
Mel
think-
Gibson, I don't want to see it.
I know, I don't either. But you
Like
got to
he
think
hasn't even
Yeah,
been
that'd
it. He needs to
be-
be
we're in the
control.
reboot age right now, and it's like they're bringing
Because
back
we're-
everything and
great
anything
for
they
that.
can.
Who has the rights to it right now? Do we know? I didn't look into that, but
That's a good question.
I didn't see
Um,
streaming anywhere specifically, so
I think when I streamed it, it was on like Pluto or Tubi or something. So it's
yeah.
it's gonna be on like one of those platforms.
It's
It
kind of
is an
everywhere.
older movie,
Yeah.
so it's like it makes sense. But again, it wouldn't surprise me though if somebody tries to redo this because I mean they're remaking everything now. I mean we're getting a remake of what's that Harrison Ford movie that they want to remake now with supposedly Zendaya.
Oh, what?
another
It's-
one.
It's one of those.
What
I'm
movie
trying
would
to
that
see.
be?
I'm trying
It's
to see if
not
I
a
can.
Tom Clancy movie, right?
I think it is. It's
What would it be?
The Fugitive. They want to
Fugitive.
remake The Fugitive.
The Fugitive.
Why
with,
is-
Supposedly they want to put
Clancy
Zendaya.
Jones, right?
Why is she a movie star? This is her
Well,
She
acting.
has she has
Happy.
Instagram followers. That's
Sad.
why. Tommy Lee
That's-
Jones.
Emotional.
Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee
Jones.
Jones was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would,
But,
who would
I
play
mean,
him? Timothy
that-
Chalamet or something? I mean, what?
We'll save that one for another episode, but
I have a lot to say.
I think we can all
are-
agree that a
Chalamet
remake of
thing.
this might not be fitting.
I
Let's just
agree.
say that.
I think they should just leave it alone.
But I would vote for no on that. So
Don't
I
touch
agree.
it. Don't touch it.
don't do it.
Yeah, we're
Well,
looking
I
at
mean,
you, Hollywood.
I think we pretty much hit everything about this movie. I mean, unless you guys have any final thoughts, we'll wrap it up and we'll get
Jeff.
out of here. So yeah,
Isaac,
Jeff,
why don't you
start
go
with
ahead quick? Oh, okay.
All right. Jeff,
Unless you want to go first, Isaac.
Oh.
I don't.
Jeff's going first.
highly organized. I'll tell you what. Okay. Just like some people saw this movie as a very convoluted and unfocused in between romance and mystery action. But tell you what, I think that was on purpose because it's still kind of a scramble in his own head on what the hell's going on. The parts when he's being interrogated, what do you know, or how do you know this? He's like, what do I know? Oh, you know. What do you mean I know? I don't know what I know. So it was just stuff like that that really gets the brain thinking. And like we talked about at the beginning of this video, it gets you thinking. And I like movies that get you thinking. One of my favorite type of psychological type thrillers like that would probably be Shutter Island,
Yes,
because you don't know what's going on. And this movie reminded me a lot of that, because not in the same sense of how it played out, but in the sense of like what the hell's going on. There's something going on in the old grapefruit here that's not quite clicking.
And that is
So-
a movie I want to do a discussion on. Is that,
Oh, I
that
love that
and
movie.
Inception too?
Mm-hmm.
Never seen Inception. Yeah,
Ooh, it's a
never
good.
seen
It's a mind f.
It'll mess with you, dude.
Mhm.
Like it still messes with people to this day because
And
Yeah, I know that's one of the original
Yep.
memes.
and they left
of,
an ending to where people argue about it still to this day.
and the director has never given a clear answer.
Thankfully.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is the way it should be, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And just like with this movie, it kind of leaves you thinking and leaves you like we're doing right now. We all have different theories, and that's what
Almost
makes
30
it
years
fun.
later.
Hollywood now dumbs everything down, and they give you the answer to everything. They don't make you think at
Mhm.
all. It's refreshing to see movies like this, conspiracy theory. So
I agree.
Unfortunately, it's refreshing to see a 30-year-old movie. Like
Yeah.
this.
That's the thing is like I
Mhm.
saw somebody they made like this post about doing, I think it might have been Dan Bask actually. He made like a post about doing this challenge where you only watch like movies and shows from before like I think like mid 2000s or something like that.
I think he said
And
15 to 20 years old. Yeah.
yeah, and just watch that for like a month and you'll just see like the stark difference in how much better it used to be
Mhm.
compared to the slop and bullshit that we get now. It's so
Yeah.
dumbed down. They treat us like fucking morons.
They
It's
do.
not
And they
even funny.
and they admit outright that they're making these TV shows and movies for second screen viewing, not for actually sitting there watching. That's why I explain, show and tell what the hell's going on or what happened in the past, and then say, "Well, we need to do this or we did this, we did that, exactly how we're showing you as we're doing it on screen. That way, you don't have to watch; you can just listen to it and know what's going on." Which is Netflix admittedly openly said that.
Yeah.
Even Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on their new movie, The Rip. They said we didn't want to do this, but Netflix made us do it this certain way that we had to like make it for second screen viewing. So
And that's a terrible business model. I mean, if you want to make money off of your movie, if you want to get people to watch it, make it so that when it's on, it takes them away from their phone or it takes them away from what they're doing. Like
yep.
the sign of a good movie is like, so let's say you're watching it at home, right? And you're like, okay, I'm cleaning the house right now and I just need something for background noise or something to watch while I clean, you know?
Mhm.
And if I was to throw this movie on while I'm cleaning, I'm gonna end up eventually stopping cleaning and just sitting down to watch the movie because it's
Exactly.
a
Yep.
good movie. And that's what these studios don't realize is that's what you need to do. Get back to that and you start making money. It's not hard.
It also goes to show that's why theaters are suffering so much too, and not to. But
Mhm.
like I always ask myself, with movies, and I ask myself with this movie too. Would is this something I would want to see in theaters?
Right.
And I think the answer is yes. I think I would be happy to sit down for 2 hours in the theater and watch this movie. I wouldn't be on my phone. I wouldn't, like it's engaging enough where it draws your attention to actually pay attention, which
Yeah.
is like we said, Hollywood's not doing that too much nowadays. So
No.
this, if you're someone that likes that, a good movie, like I said, beginning, middle, and end, check it out. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And back
I would
to the
love to
wanting
see
to see
some
stuff in
theaters.
movies. Oh, sorry to cut you off there, nerd.
Oh no, you're good. I
I
was
know you
just
wanna
saying
wrap
like
her
I
up
would
here,
love
but
to I would love to see this in theaters. Like
yeah,
if they
I'd
remaster
see
this
this
to
I
a
too.
fully
4K
agree.
release
Oh yeah.
in theaters, I would go see it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I'm 45 minutes to an
Same.
hour from my closest theater. The last movie that I saw in the movie theater was How to Train Your Dragon, the live action. And
Oh
when was
wow,
that?
okay.
Last March, April. So yeah, it's been that long since I've been to see a movie
Mhm.
because none of the movies that come out nowadays either interest me enough to want to drive that far and spend the money. But I mean, wintertime I'm working on the weekend, so it's hard to do that. But I could find a Sunday and go up there if there's something that really caught my eye that I was like, I got to see this in theaters. Unfortunately, it's usually on a Sunday, and that Friday, Saturday release, people are like, it was good, or it was okay, or that sucked. And I'm like, well, I'm not even wasting my time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
last
I
movie I
totally
saw
get
was
that.
Sisu 2, and it was
oh, I
worth it.
still didn't see
Okay.
that movie.
I heard that
I
was
need to
good.
go see it.
I
It
heard it was
was,
good.
if you like the first one, you will
Mhm.
like it just as much. They're
Oh,
actually
I
equal
love that first
to me,
one.
which is very rare. It did not fall off at all. It just it's like continuation. So
Good.
It's just over the top, just badass violence, and it's just like, all right, it's not based in reality. So what? It's badass. It's
doesn't
like
have
John
to be.
Wick in World War II. Hell yeah.
Right?
Exactly right.
I think the last movie I saw in theaters, God, I think it might have been the most recent Transformers movie.
I don't even know what movie they came out
The
with.
last
recently.
night? Was that what it was?
No,
Oh, the animated one?
no, not the animated
Beasts,
one.
Rise of the Beasts or
It
whatever.
might have, was there one after Rise of the Beasts?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't even know.
Actually it might have been the Beast. I don't know. It was one of the like most recent Transformers that they put out in theaters, and it was the one that just was so fucking terrible.
Damn.
I almost walked out halfway through, but I'm like, you know what? I paid for the fucking ticket. I'm getting my money's worth at least, even if it's
Mhm.
torture. And that's
Yeah.
the last thing I saw in movies. Like the only thing that's been in theaters recently that I wanted to go see was Iron Lung. But then, of course, The one thing I do want to
There
go
was
see,
nothing near me. Yeah.
it was either sold
lucky
out,
us.
or the only times that were available, I was at work or busy with other things, and I just couldn't
Mhm.
make it. So I'm like, all right, well, now I'm kind of waiting to see, like, is he gonna? Because there's talks he's gonna try to get it out on streaming and a physical release, but they don't know if it's gonna go on like Netflix or Hulu or something like that, or if he's just gonna put it on his own channel to be streamed. So it's, I don't know, but
Be a
I'll
good
definitely
money
be
play.
getting. Oh, 100%. I would definitely get a physical copy if he does
Yeah.
a physical
Oh, for
copy.
sure.
So
Even if I haven't watched a movie yet, maybe I won't like it. I'll still buy it.
yeah, I would much rather have a physical version
If
of it
it's
'cause then they
intriguing
can
looking
offer it.
enough, yeah,
I've heard
definitely.
a lot of good things about it, so
Yeah, and it
I definitely
with that movie especially, it's like for those that have like watched him play the game to taking this into a movie, it's actually pretty impressive because there's not a lot to work with visually in the game. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen the movie yet, but from what I have heard about it, he did a really good job bringing it over to the big screen.
Cool.
You know, but I'm going off on a tangent. I gotta save that one for another episode.
Yep,
too.
save that for when we watch you
No,
watch
but it's
it.
a fair point. It just makes us think. I think, like you said, if this was re-released for like a 30th anniversary, upgraded,
Exactly.
digitally or whatever, I would definitely go see Conspiracy Theory in the theater. It would be
100%.
worth it.
With 4 hours of Mel Gibson's
Yes.
scenes.
Yes.
Yes.
No, like that, and that's all it takes is you just have to have a good movie that will get people to go to the theater, and something like that it's got a recipe that works,
Yep.
and you don't think it would be that hard to follow it, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
For over 100 years.
and they still haven't
Insane.
learned.
No.
But
Well,
this was a
I
good
mean,
and thank you for recommending it for this.
yeah, no, this
Hell yeah.
was a really good watch, and again, I'm glad you guys agreed to watch it and talk about this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and we were going to originally try to get ABF to join us, but he's a little preoccupied
Old.
with, yeah, he's a little preoccupied with being old, so it's all good. We'll
Good,
catch
buddy.
him when it's not so late for him. But no, you guys have any other final thoughts or anything else you want to throw in there last minute before we send it off into the void?
What you think,
No.
Jeff?
I was just seeing if there was any other little tidbits of information on the IMDb about this movie that I had pulled up, but I didn't have anything. So no, overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to give it another watch to with a more of a microscopic lens on it because of the stuff that we talked about tonight and some stuff we probably didn't get to, but still be cool to see what other interconnecting things I missed on the first watch through. So interested in it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And if you guys do want to talk more about this ever, just send me a message, man. I love talking about these kind of movies.
Definitely.
I'm hardcore into both the sci-fi type of movies, but then also the conspiracy thriller stuff. I love those genres, man. So I will talk about that stuff any time of day.
If you do anything with horror movies too, let me know.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I love a good
adore
horror movie. I
Yep.
love a good horror movie.
A lot of the newer stuff's been really upsetting, but
Hell yeah. Well, I think with that, we're going to kind of wrap it up here and get on out. I don't want to keep you guys here all night, but Jeff, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug? I know you got some content.
yeah, as of time of this recording, my new video has been up for 5 days on my channel, Jeff Up North. I suppose you could almost call it a local conspiracy theory in itself. It's about a alleged lost wall of silver mine in the Upper Peninsula where I live of Michigan. That's gotten a lot of great traction on it. This is like my Vikings video, so I'm excited with that. Creeping up on that thousand subs. So
Hell yeah.
hopefully, by the time my next video comes out this week, we'll cross the finish. Well, that line, that threshold.
Hell yeah. And yes, if you guys aren't following Jeff, his link will be down in the description below. So please make sure to go follow him. Let's help him get to 1,000. Let's
brother.
get him there. And how far away watch hours wise are you? Do you
About
know?
100.
Not
If
bad.
it's right there, and this is so my watch hours are about 100 away as of March 10th. Well,
Okay.
March 10th is the day that my most recent video came out, so we'll see if it's counting those yet.
So if people were
Right
to go to
there.
your channel and just, I don't know, let's say throw on a bunch of your videos on a loop while they were working or doing something like that, that would probably
Right,
help out.
out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you
And
guys could do that.
yeah.
I
Or
think
just
that'll
maybe
help.
if you have actual interest in them, just give them a watch, leave some feedback,
That
let me know
too.
what you think on it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting week, couple of weeks. So yeah, no, thanks for
Oh, yeah.
thanks for bringing me on to talk about this movie, Conspiracy Theory, starring Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts and Patrick Stewart.
Yes. And thank you for coming on, Jeff. This was a lot of fun. This was fun. We're gonna have to talk some more about this because I
Oh, we
feel like
will.
there's a lot we could unpack. So, and
Next
Isaac, the man, the myth, the legend. What you got to shout out, brother?
Well, every Monday night on my channel, name is listed on the screen. You can see the Golden Age podcast, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, culture war commentary, politics, everything. And we have a lot of fun. That's on YouTube and Kick every single week. I'm also on X. And on Thursdays, when we can make it, I'm on Jeff's channel too. We're talking
Oh, that's
history.
right.
Good stuff. Yes. So it's always fun. And thank you again for having me on. Great conversation, great movie to be talking about. And yeah, had a great time. And I'm also about 100 to 150 watch hours away. I have the subs. We're over 500, but so I think Jeff's gonna beat me to it, and
I don't
he
know. We'll
deserves
see.
it. No, you're gonna. Jeff
You
is
got your
killing it
streams
with the
going
videos.
weekly. I put up a video
Yes.
now and then.
So it's great just to be in the community. And I again thank you, Nerd Slap, for having me on to talk about it, because it's great to talk about this kind of stuff. This isn't everybody's thing, just like on my channel, politics is not everybody's thing. So it's nice to cross collaborate. It's very fun. So
It is. And another way I like to kind of see it is like this kind of stuff, it's an escape from all the
Yep.
bullshit going on in the world, It just
Mhm.
being able to talk with a couple of buddies about a movie or a TV show or
Yes.
something like that. It's a nice escape. And
Mhm.
I feel like especially nowadays with everything going on in the world, people need a lot more of that. So hopefully
Yes.
this kind of content provides that same feeling for you guys watching. And yeah, please make sure to go follow both of these guys. They're that close to monetization. Let's get them there. I think we can get them there by the time MegaCon is over. So that's a week.
You got 1 week.
I think we can
Hopefully.
make it happen. I think we
Hopefully.
can make this happen.
And then while you're at it, subscribe to Drink Up.
Yes. And yes, subscribe for the
Definitely.
Drink Up crew. Those
Definitely.
guys, they'll do their Drink Up podcast and they do the gaming streams. And it's always a freaking riot, man. Watching you guys, it's a riot. You guys do some
Fridays and
wild
Tuesdays.
shit.
We never get any gay clips out of that when watching you guys ever. We've never. Ever.
Oh,
It's all
it's all totally above board.
Yep.
But no, thank you again, gentlemen. This has been fun. And thank you for those that have watched all the way through. We do appreciate it. I am Nerd Slap. Make sure to go check out all my other content. I have a gaming channel over on Kick and on YouTube. And then I also have this, the Nerd Files. So make sure to like and subscribe. Follow these guys. Go follow ABF and check out Off the Hip, which both of you guys have been on as well.
Mhm.
And I
Couple
am one
times.
of the regular co-hosts for that show. So make sure to go check out all that content. I know it's a lot, but
That stream has good
Prioritize.
intros too. I don't know who makes those.
it's some retard. Some
Yeah,
retard by the name of like
I agree.
Nerd
Yeah.
Slap or something like that. It's,
You know,
I-
I've seen his fingerprint on Drink Up's intros as well. I don't know.
yeah,
Seems to be getting around.
he's just kind of all over the place.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. That guy's he seems like he's kind of retarded though.
a little out there, I'd say.
I have to,
But he watches movies like Conspiracy Theory.
yeah, you might have to keep
Yeah.
an eye on him. He might turn into Jerry.
He could.
Jerry.
What do you mean turn it? Probably is. I mean, you never know. But
Oh, you know what? What if we're all Jerry?